Hi, this is Mara Vlasic, one of your instructional technology coaches. Now that we've set up your Zoom account and we've downloaded the desktop app, I'm going to show you how to schedule a meeting. So I'm going to click on that Zoom icon in my taskbar, and that will open up the home page for the desktop app. From this home page, we have a couple of choices. We can start a meeting right now, we can join a meeting, we can schedule a meeting, or we can share screen. So we're going to look at scheduling a meeting. So I'm going to click this schedule button. When I schedule a meeting, I have lots of different setting options. The first thing I can do is change the name or the topic of my meeting. So this might be staff meeting on Wednesday. And then I can choose a couple things. I can choose the start date of my meeting, the start time of my meeting. I can choose the duration in hours, and I can add minutes. If this is a one-time meeting, I'm going to schedule it right here. If it's a recurring meeting, I'm going to click that recurring meeting button. This means that I'm going to use this same meeting link to share with my colleagues or my students, and they're going to join this meeting on a recurring basis. I would use this as a teacher if I had first period and I wanted to meet with students from first period at the same time using the same link that I post on Canvas or Google Classroom or that I email to them. So if it's a recurring meeting, I check that box. If not, I'm just going to fill out when I want to schedule this meeting. And then I'm going to scroll down here. It's going to generate an automatic meeting ID. I can choose to require a password or not, depending on the meeting that I'm hosting. I can choose to have my video on and have participants' video on. And then I can choose if participants can join by telephone with their computer audio or telephone and computer audio both. So if they're joining by telephone, they call in, they put in their meeting ID, and it's a conference call for them. If they're joining by computer, they can also use their video on their computer. And then I have some choices down here for my calendar. Because we have a Gmail account and we're a Google district, you can add this event to your Google Calendar. So if I check that, it's going to add the event to my calendar. And then I have a couple other options down here. If I click Advanced Options, these are important options for setting up your meeting. If you enable a waiting room, that will put people that join your meeting into like a waiting room space where you can then add them to the meeting once they've joined. This can be a little tedious and time intensive if you're having a large meeting with lots of people, so I wouldn't suggest this setting. I would not suggest enable join before host. So what this does is it lets students or staff members, whoever's joining your meeting, to join before you do. So as the host, we'd encourage you to join your meeting a few minutes before it's going to start so that you can then be there and present when people are joining. If you don't check this button, and someone tries to join your meeting before you do, it will say, please wait for the host to join to start the meeting. I would suggest mute participants on entry. What this does is it will automatically mute their microphone on their computer or on their headset, however they're connecting with their mic. And what that does is it allows people to kind of get settled and get set up without all the extra background noise adding to the meeting. So if they're joining late, or if you've already started a conversation with someone else, it will allow you to continue that conversation without a lot of noise as they get set up on the meeting, and then they can unmute themselves when they're ready to join. You do not need to check this box because we are not requiring people to sign into Zoom in order to join a meeting. If you check this, they'll have to sign in and create an account before they can join. And then we would suggest that you automatically record your meeting. This is something we suggest to staff and to teachers, just so that you have a recording of the meeting and everything that happened in that meeting, and you can record that in the cloud. If you want to add someone as an alternate host to your meeting, where you can assign them to be the host if you need to leave the meeting, or if you just want someone else to host it, you can add in their email here. You can also do that once you've started your meeting. And then we're going to click schedule. It's going to ask me to authenticate my account again. and allow, because it's taking me to my Google Calendar. So because I checked that Google Calendar button, it's going to open this meeting as a Google Calendar event where I can add guests here to the meeting. And then I can save right here. And I'll show you what that looks like in my calendar. I now have all that information for my meeting inside that calendar event. So if you're adding people to this event through Calendar, they can open the event and they can click on that URL to join the meeting. So that is how you schedule a meeting from the Zoom desktop app. Please reach out if you have any other questions and we'd be happy to answer those for you. Thanks!